Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to everyone as we join together on this beautiful San Diego Shabbat afternoon as we join with Sydney and her family as she becomes bat mitzvah on this day, knowing she has worked so incredibly hard to reach this moment, and she will lead us, I know, so beautifully through our service today, and we will rejoice with her. I'm Rabbi Jason Navarez, joined with Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, Jeff Shell on piano, here to guide and support Sydney as she leads us this afternoon in becoming bat mitzvah. I'm aware that some of you, this may be the first time that you're entering into a sanctuary and that you're here at Beth Israel and that you've experienced what becoming a bat mitzvah is. So we welcome all of you. And the hope is that as you see throughout our service today, that part of the experience is for Sydney to make a monumental transformation in terms of understanding that this is a milestone moment in her life. She's not going to age more than a day from before the service to after the service, but in this moment she is making a declaration, and the declaration is that she is becoming a young individual in the context of our Jewish tradition and is responsible for the keeping of the mitzvot and striving to do them and live them in her life. And so whether you're new to our synagogue or you're joining us once again, we welcome all of you, and we invite you to participate as much as possible. That as Sydney guides us so ably through our service this afternoon, it's incumbent upon all of us to lift the prayer book, to lift the words off the prayer book pages so that we may live them through our voices and through our hearts. In front of you, there may be a prayer book, or behind you in the seats. If not, there are prayer books on the stands outside, right outside the sanctuary doors. Some of our prayers in the sanctuary this afternoon will be on our screens to my right and left above. And those who are joining us online, all of our prayers, our Torah and Haftarah sections will be on your screens for you to share and pray with us as well. And we begin on page 70 in your prayer books today. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevtachim gam yachad. We start with these words to say how wonderful it is that we dwell together and we join together, we sing together.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Becoming a bat mitzvah, a bar mitzvah, an adult in the community means that a student has the opportunity to avail themselves of opportunities and mitzvot, of commandments, of good things, positive ways of living in this world that children are not always available, that children don't always have available to them. Some of the things that Sydney is going to be doing today is leading a service. She's going to be reading from Torah. She's going to be teaching us some Torah. And to begin that journey, she's going to be presented a talit from her parents. A talit is a prayer shawl. It is the size, the shape, the colors, the fabrics are rather irrelevant. What is important about a talit is these four-cornered fringes, the four fringes on each corner that are wrapped and knotted in such a way to remind us of the 613 mitzvot in the Torah, the 613 commandments. The 613 times God speaks to us and says, this is something very important to me that you do. And so as we call up Brooke and Matthew to present Sydney with her talit, we know that this is not just a piece of fabric that they are presenting, they are presenting her as she takes on the mantle of the mitzvot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu hi'atef b'tzitzi.
Sydney, I'm incredibly proud to be standing here on the bima with you. You make me so proud in so many ways.
You're reading my speech.
Oh, I am? I apologize. They look the same. Okay. My dear, sweet, and lovely Sydney, from this ceremony, my wish for you is I hope you remember this beautiful day for the rest of your life. Through the challenges you may face as you grow and the great events you will encounter, I hope you always remember and remain in a place of peace and balance from knowing who you are and where you come from. Always know you can rely back on your Jewish faith and traditions to help you and guide you as you navigate through life. I feel lucky to be your mom. Your strengths and passions are abundant. I could go on for many days. You're a remarkable young lady that has always stayed steady, strong, and reliable. Family and friends know they can count on you. You need to know that it's okay to count on them too. Your strengths come from deep inside you, that over the years I have had the pleasure to watch you grow. You're stronger and wiser than you know. Your gifts have just begun to develop. You will look back and say, Mom, you were right. I am such a force and a powerful light in this world. Today, right now, in the present moment, being here with you on the bima means to me and our family that you have taken your first baby steps into this great big world. I am so proud of you. I love you so, so much.
Okay, remix. I am incredibly proud to be standing on the beam with you, Sydney. You make me proud in so many ways. You've adopted your Jewish heritage as a part of your identity and part of your life. You're a proud Jew in a place where Jews are a minority. While widespread Jewish hate in our world, we need strong, proud Jewish young adults like you. You have grown and blossomed so much. I know of no better way to spend an afternoon than to watch you hit a ball 250 yards. And then many evenings, you come and sit with Yari and Mikey and I and chat. The way you conduct yourself, the way you engage in conversations on a range of topics with maturity and sensibility. It makes me proud what people say about you. Thinking you're 16, both because you can crush a golf ball and the way you interact. You are sweet, caring, and loving. Always considerate of others, always showing love for your friends and family. I'm incredibly lucky to have two amazing daughters. My big girl, my Sydney, my pickle, my sweet, young, loving, mature, beautiful, intelligent, resilient daughter. I love you and could not be more proud to be your father and to be here with you today. Love you.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Please join us responsibly in Ashrei on page 220. Ashrei yoshvei be'eitecha, od yachalelucha selah.
אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו.
תחילה לדוד, ארוממך אלוהיך מלך, וברך שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך, והעלה שמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין הכר.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד חודך, ודברי נפלאותיך עשיך.
ועזוז נורתך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביעו, וצדקתך ירננו.
חנון ברחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יסברו, ואתה נותן לכם את אוכלם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומשפיע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תחילה אדוני ידבר פי, ויברך כל בשר קודשו עם קודשו לעולם ועד.
ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah.
Page 227. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Please rise for our tefillah on page 226.
La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מקום. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, ולא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושפחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך
ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Page 233. How shall we sanctify God's name? By being holy ourselves. How do we accomplish this? Let our prayers bring to us sacred deed, to actions that promote justice, harmony, and peace. We pray responsively on page 235. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise.
For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Page 237. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy.
May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah.
Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yira na'avod.
Page 239. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts, we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy.
May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot.
We join together in Shalom Rav on page 240.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech Adon Lekol HaShalom. Ki atah hu melech Adon Lekol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Please take a few moments for silent reflection.
We come to the pinnacle of our service where Sydney will take the Torah into her arms. She will bring it down into the community and she will read from it and she will teach it. This has been going on for generations. Moses, it is said, received the Torah from Sinai, and he passed it on to Joshua, and Joshua to the elders of the community, and the elders to the prophets, and the prophets to the people of the great assembly, on down through the generations, until today, when the Torah will come from Sydney's grandparents to her parents to Sydney, showing that unending link. So we want to invite Alan and Gail Levin, Richard Bassick, Matthew and Brooke to come to the Bima, and Sydney as well, so that she may receive the Torah in her generation. Won't you please rise? Seder Kriyat HaTorah, page 246.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד כי כל השמיים ובארץ כי כל השמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה ואני נעשה לכל לראש רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו
Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
In a few moments, we're going to have the privilege of being witness to yet another reading of our Torah portion. And to note that what Sydney is about to read is being read at this time in synagogues all around the world, whether in Bangkok or Tokyo or somewhere in Mexico or South America or Europe. You can find a young individual reading Torah and preparing to enter into this new chapter of Jewish identity. And this week's Torah portion, actually, as we enter into Shabbat afternoon, we are yearning already for next week. So we read ahead to next week's portion. And the portion that we have for Sydney, we make it a double. So it's a double portion. Only because in our calendars, we don't always have enough space in our Gregorian calendar to fit all of each individual 54 portions in, so we combine the Torah portions in moments. And so Sydney has the blessing of reading what we call Parshat Achrei Mot Kedoshim, which is from the book of Leviticus. And what is going on in here, Sydney will tell you a little more after she reads her Torah and Haftarah. But understand that these sections are the centerpiece of our Torah. They are the foundational pieces that we read. Some parts of it we read on Yom Kippur. These pieces are about how we are to be holy. And one of the most important lines out of this week's Torah portion that we see, for me, is Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself. How do you put yourself out in the world in a way in which you are being true and just and kind to your neighbor? And your neighbor may not be the person that lives next door to you. It may be the person in another country that you've never even met just yet. But then the idea is that the central commandments that we learn in Achrei Mot Kedoshim are the centerpieces of how we operate and how we're told to operate in life. And so we are blessed that a number of individuals from Sydney family will have the blessing of coming up to the bima that we call an aliyah, and ascending to the bima, as we call, and having the readings, the blessings before and after the Torah. And again, we're reading from Parshat Achrei Mot Kedoshim. We're reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verses 1 through 4 for our first aliyah. And to note that the actual sections that Sydney are reading are what we call the Holiness Code. And so we are delighted in calling upon Gail and Alan Levin for our first aliyah.
Yamdu Gittel Chava Bat Moshe Ufega Aharon Ben Mendel Uperel Harishon.
Ready? Baruch et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher B'cha Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael ve'amarta elehem kidoshim tihiu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. Ish imo ve'aviv tira'u ve'et shabtotam tishmoru ani Adonai Elohechem. Al tifnu el ha'elilim ve'lochem masecha lo tasu lachem ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For secondly, I delight in calling upon Richard Bassett.
Ya'amod Ruven ben Eitan v'Yochana Hasheni.
Baruch Adonai, Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bocha Bonu Mikol Ha'amim V'notan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ukutrechem et ketzir artechem lo techale pe'at sadecha liksor v'leket ketzrecha lo tilaket v'charmecha lo ta'olel uferet karmecha lo tilaket le'ani v'lager ta'atzov otam ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Notan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'Sochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For thirdly, I delight in calling upon Matthew and Brooke.
Ya'amdu Matityahu ben Ruven ve'Esther Leah Racha bat Aharon ve'Gittel Shashlishi.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo tiknovu v'lo techachashu v'lo tishakru ish ba'amito v'lo tishavu v'ishmi la shakir v'chelelta et shem Elohecha ani Adonai lo ta'ashok et re'echa v'lo tigzor lo talin peulat sahir itecha ad boker.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chei olam nata b'torchenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
And for the blessing and reading of our next Aliyah, I delight in calling upon our bat mitzvah, Sydney Amy Bassett.
Ta'amod, 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 Eitana bat Matityahu bracha, Bachura bat mitzvah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Chamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hambarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Chamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lo tekalel cheresh v'lifnei iver, lo titein mishol v'yareita me'elochecha, ani Adonai. Lo tasu abel b'mishpat, lo tisa v'nei dal v'lo tidar v'nei gadol, betzadek tishvot amitecha, lo talech rachil ba'amecha, lo ta'amod al damre'echa, ani Adonai. Lo tisa et achicha bilvavecha, chochea tochea et amitecha, v'lo tisa alav heit, lo tikom v'lo titor et b'nei amecha, ve'afta lere'echa kamocha, ani Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Whenever we reach a new moment of joy and blessing and newness in our tradition, we join together with the words of Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
This time I'd like to call upon Jeff Kurtzwell, John, and John Bassett to hold and dress our Torah as we continue singing together because it's a Torah. I invite you to please rise if you are able. We also call Scott Levin to open the ark doors.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יללי לי 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 lai, 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 lai. Eitz chaim hi lemachazikim ba betomcheha meushan diracheha darcheno Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to welcome you to my Bat Mitzvah ceremony. My Torah portion is called Acharei Mot Kedoshim. God is speaking to Moses about what kinds of things are acceptable and not acceptable in life. It establishes things that the Israelites can and can't do to be considered holy people. This all builds around the idea that you should treat others the way you want to be treated. I think it means that you should rise above your selfishness and look towards God. God is showing Moses ways we can follow his rules and be considerate of what to do and what not to do. Rising above your selfishness is realizing what we can do to be better people and becoming the best version of yourself. Before putting yourself before others, you should think of the people around you and how you treat others. I feel like the most important meaning of my portion is to be holy as God is holy, which is in the first portion of my text. If you consider yourself to be the center of the universe, you can't fully receive God's love. God is trying to teach us that we aren't perfect, but that doesn't mean that we can use our selfishness to benefit us. God allows us to develop, but gives us rules that we can take to heart and use. This is shown throughout my portion because everything that follows is related to that meaning. Personally, I follow a mixture of rules, but there are some rules I don't follow, like dietary restrictions. The rules I follow are more about humanity and how I treat people. Even if you don't use these laws yourself, you can still be holy because times have changed and Jews have adapted to our environment. Take our Reformed Jewish congregation. We practice God and laws, but we have certain things we don't do either. No matter what, as Jews, we respect the rules given to us, and with modern days, we have different ways of including it in our lives. Rabbi Abraham ibn Ezra explains that one is responsible to love other human beings because the one God has created all of them. This means to me that when people get greedy and don't have boundaries, it leads to destruction by your own people. I live by this idea every day because I believe that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. I have been raised in a family that has taught me what it means to give back to my community and what it means to be a Jew. I helped give back to my community by doing my mitzvah project through the National Charity League. I did a majority of different kinds of volunteer work. My favorites are when I worked in the Poway Library and supervised their events. I also worked in the Youth in Transition Club, which serves almost 200 students that are underserved or homeless. Doing work for my community made me feel more connected to others, and I loved working together with other people. I would like to thank my rabbis, Rabbi Navarez, Rabbi Bernstein, and Rabbi Gimbel. Also, my friends and family that helped me study every day. But I want to personally thank my Hebrew teacher, Eliza, because I couldn't have done so well without her. Also, thank you, Jeff Shell, for your beautiful piano playing. We can live holy lives by realizing that you don't have to be the center of everything, and it keeps you humble. You should understand God's teachings and try to include that kind of state of mind in your life. Treating people correctly with God in your heart unleashes a whole other level of love. These are just some of the things you could take with you and use while having a holy life. In summary, I have learned a lot about my portion, and throughout my life, I will always be so grateful that I have this privilege. This Shabbat, may we show love and kindness to others so that we can be holy. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Sydney, I have to confess before I begin that I had a lot of golf puns to use, that I was just ready to just say you just hit a hole in one. You know, there were times during the service where you fell in the bunker and you were able to wedge it out and all those things. And but I realized that what you have shown us today has gone beyond your interests, and it has shown us who you are, and it has made us so proud. I actually remember really vividly the first time that we really interacted. Well, we didn't interact so much as I saw you as the fiddler in your third grade production of Fiddler on the Roof. I know, it was embarrassing for all of us. I was But you showed in that moment incredible pride in your Judaism. And in that moment, everyone that was sitting in Maura and Natalie's classroom, we were all so proud of you. And I know that when I look at what you're going to do in the future, when you are an accomplished writer or an accomplished ambassador, however that ends up, when you arrive at the LPGA, we're going to be so proud of you. Because for us, it doesn't matter what that career end goal is going to be, because we are going to be proud of you because of who you are. You are someone who gives back. You are someone that not only talks about empathy in their Devar Torah, you show it, you live it. As Rabbi Navarez likes to say, you walk the talk. And the truth is that this pride comes from your holiness. We often think of pride as something to push away. But the truth is that the pride that you have inside yourself, the pride that we all feel for you, and having arrived at this moment, that's holiness. We talked about all the different things that were enumerated in the Holiness Code, some things which we still do and some things we don't still do, but we also talked about how the values that underpin all of the Holiness Code is about making the world a better place. And that's what you do every single day. My hope and my prayer for you going forward from this day is that you continue to live your life with holiness, live your life with pride, live your life with empathy. And when you do, you're going to have a cheering section that's much bigger than this community. And it's going to be a little louder than golf claps. So I'd like to invite my clergy partners to bestow upon you our tradition's most ancient blessing, the priestly blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face shine upon you with radiance and with grace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom. May God's presence ever be with you, Sydney. May you be granted health and long life, the courage to fill it with much joy and blessing and peace, as we say. Amen.
Amen.
You ready for some presents? Great, fantastic. So I'd like to call up Mike Chasin, member of our board of directors, to present Sydney with some gifts. Stay right here.
Just doing a little quality control up here, make sure I have the right speech, but I think I got it, so we're good. So, all right, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you for being here today. Terrific work. So poised, so relaxed. I think I'm more nervous for you right now. You're like the picture of grace. Okay, so there is a couple really important things about me being here. One, I am representing our entire congregation, Beth Israel, over 1,100 families. The other really important part for you is that when I stand up here to do this, it means you're that far from being done with the ceremony and you get to the party. So I'll keep it brief here. It is an honor for me to be here to celebrate with you, with your family, your parents, Brooke, Matthew, and Brinsley. Is that you? That you? How'd she do? What do you think? Thumbs up? Set the bar pretty high for you? Okay, good. Unfortunately, 2 members of your family, I understand, on all 8 legs could not be here today. That's Oakley and Maui. Sorry they couldn't make it. That happens. I did have an opportunity to talk to your parents in advance of this. I asked for some really juicy gossip, and they didn't give me any of that. But to reiterate what the rabbi just said, talked about what a wonderful leader you are, what a mature, sweet soul you are, and you are one who looks before you leap. That is an excellent attribute. They described you as an ambassador, a writer, and as we've already talked about, what an amazing golfer you are. 250 yards, you actually know where it's going. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. My record is 10 yards. But in my defense, there was a windmill in the way. It's a golf course called Miniature. I think you might have heard of that one. Maybe. Okay. So let me explain what we're going to do here with these special gifts that I have for you. It's not like your birthday. These are more ceremonial in nature. So I don't have a Callaway driver for you. That would be a good thing, right? Or even a sleeve of golf balls. Sorry about that. They're more ceremonial. Also, even though they are wrapped up, I'm going to tell you what's in the boxes. So just bear with me. This is just how we do things. Okay, the first thing I have for you here is a certificate that you signed along with your parents and the clergy, noting the privileges and responsibilities of becoming a bat mitzvah. There is another certificate here. This signifies that a tree has been planted in your honor in Israel. There is also a gift certificate here from an organization called Nifty, which will significantly subsidize your Nifty organized trip to Israel when you're older. Let me give you a little tip here. Some person in your family, hopefully no one here today, when you go to Israel is going to say, hey, go take a picture next to your tree. You're not going to find it because there's a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs going on and there are entire forests of trees. So I've cleared this with the rabbi in advance. It's okay. Just find a nice tree, take the picture next to that, send that along. You're going to be totally fine. Okay? All right, good. The other gifts we have for you is a Kiddush cup and some candlestick holders presented by the women of Beth Israel. We hope you use these special and sacred items in your home that welcome Shabbat and other special holidays and milestones. Lastly, we are presenting you with the book on the doorposts of your house. This is presented to you from the Men's Club. We hope this book serves as a useful resource for you as you begin the next chapter of Jewish living. All right, we know this is just the beginning of your Jewish journey, and all of your family at Congregation Beth Israel look forward to having you as an active contributor to our community. Congratulations.
We begin to conclude this beautiful service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282. Please rise if you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing. Turn to page 294 for our mourners Kaddish. We are thinking of those who died at this season in years past. And Brooke, we are thinking of those generations in your family who are no longer with us. Please join us. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for blessing. Did I just call you by your mother's name? Yes, I think I did. Sydney, sorry about that. But it's a good thing to aspire to. We invite your mother and father and your sister to join us on the bima.
In a moment, we're going to enter into what we call Havdalah. In our tradition, when we make a sacred separation between our Sabbath, between Shabbat and the rest of the week, we call this ritual Havdalah, which means sacred separation. And there are three elements that we use to transition us into that time. We use the Kiddush wine, the sweetness that will remain on our lips for the week to come, the special moment. We'll take a sniff of the besamim, the varied spices that fill that voided mystical soul Shabbat departs. And the Aish, we're going to kindle the fire, the twisted candle, and then we're going to extinguish it to note that Shabbat has ended. But with every strike of the match, when we kindle the light, we're reminded that each and every day we have the capacity to begin anew, to create. And so we'll join together. The blessings will be on your screens, and we invite you to sing with us. And if you don't know the words, you can just say lai lai. Can you try lai lai? That a little better. Lai lai. That you got it. You're good. So you can join with us.
Hine el Yeshuati Eftach v'lo echad Ki ozi bezimrat Adonai Vayehi li Yeshua Ushafte mayim besason Mimayne ha-Yeshua L'Adonai ha-Yeshua Alamcha Birchatecha La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen.
It's okay to put your arm around your neighbor and sway with them as we sing. Lai lai la la lai lai la lai. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai. Ya la lai 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 la lai lai la lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei minei besamim, borei minei besamim. Yai lai ya la 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 lai la, yai lai ya la 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 lai lai. Ya la lai 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 lai, ya la lai lai, ya la lai. Ya lai ya la 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 lai 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 lai, ya la 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 lai lai. Ya la lai 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 lai, ya la lai lai, ya la lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei meorei ha'esh, borei meorei ha'esh. Yai lai ya la 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 lai 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 ya la 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 lai lai. Ya la lai 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 ya la lai lai ya la lai. Yai lai ya la 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 lai 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 ya la 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 lai lai. Ya la lai 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 ya la lai lai ya la lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Chatzotzeinu yimchol. Zareinu v'chaspeinu yarbe kachol. V'hakochavim balayla. Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera be'amenu. Yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
As you turn to someone around you, behind you, in front of you, wish them a good week. We say Shavua Tov, and we also say Mazel Tov to Sydney.
Mazel Tov.
And thank you so much for joining us this evening and for celebrating in this wonderful simcha and milestone. May you have a good and peaceful week. Shavua Tov.